Padre Pio said something about guardian angels that almost nobody talks about. That there are specific conditions under which your guardian angel is not permitted to help you. Not unwilling, not absent, forbidden. And the reason is something worth understanding carefully. Padre Pio's relationship with his guardian angel was not devotional sentiment, it was operational. Father Alessio Parente documented in Send Me Your Guardian Angel that Padre Pio would regularly instruct people who could not travel to San Giovanni Rotondo to send their guardian angel to him with their intention. Multiple individuals later confirmed this worked, through letters he sent acknowledging what had been communicated, or through his direct recognition when they eventually visited. He once told a group of his spiritual children in a conversation Father Pellegrino Funicelli recorded that people suffer unnecessarily because they treat their guardian angel like a painting on a wall rather than a living presence assigned specifically to them. But within that same teaching, he returned consistently to something far less comforting. The guardian angel operates within boundaries, and those boundaries are not set by the angel. They are set by the person the angel is assigned to protect. To understand what Padre Pio meant, it helps to look at what the Church actually teaches about guardian angels, because popular understanding of this doctrine is considerably thinner than the doctrine itself. The Catechism of the Catholic Church affirms in paragraph 336 that from infancy to death, human life is surrounded by angelic care and intercession. But the theological tradition behind that teaching, developed most precisely by Saint Thomas Aquinas in the Summa Theologica, describes the guardian angel's role as illumination, protection, and intercession, never coercion. The angel can prompt, warn, and shield, but the angel cannot override the human will. Think of it like a search and rescue drone. It can spot the path and illuminate the danger. But if the climber deliberately walks into a cave and blocks the signal, the drone cannot follow. And this is where Padre Pio's teaching becomes theologically precise rather than merely mystical. He taught, according to accounts preserved within the friary community, that when a person persistently chooses a path the angel is prompting them away from, the angel's capacity to intervene in the consequences of that choice becomes restricted. Not because the angel abandons them, but because intervening would mean overriding the very faculty, human freedom, that God has placed beyond the reach of even angelic action. Saint Thomas wrote that the guardian angel never leaves a person even in grave sin, but that the angel's protective influence operates differently depending on the interior disposition of the soul it accompanies. The pattern Padre Pio identified was consistent across documented accounts of his spiritual direction. People reporting a persistent sense that something was going wrong despite prayer, despite devotion, despite asking for their angel's protection, were almost always living with one specific condition restricting their angel's ability to act, not necessarily mortal sin, not open rebellion. Something more common and considerably harder to see, a persistent refusal to act on something they already clearly knew they were being prompted toward. Padre Pio taught that the guardian angel communicates primarily through the conscience, through the quiet and persistent interior sense that something needs to change, that a particular decision is wrong, that a specific action is being asked. When a person repeatedly acknowledges that prompting and repeatedly ignores it, they are not simply resisting a spiritual instinct. They are, in a precise theological sense, narrowing the channel through which their angel's protection flows. Padre Pio was not describing a punitive mechanism here, and this distinction matters. He was not teaching that the guardian angel withdraws in anger or that God removes protection as punishment. What he described, consistent with the theological tradition he worked within, was something structural. The guardian angel's intervention operates along the lines of cooperation with the person's own will. When the will moves toward what the angel is guiding toward, cooperation is full and protection is active. When the will persistently turns away from those promptings, the angel remains present, but the channel through which active intervention flows has been narrowed, not by God withdrawing, but by the person's own repeated choices closing it gradually from their side. Father Gabriel of St. Mary Magdalene, the Carmelite theologian whose work, Divine Intimacy, remained widely read in the same era, described this as the difference between a soul permeable to grace and one that has become, through habitual resistance, increasingly closed to it. The angel has not changed. The person's interior receptivity has. What Padre Pio told people in this situation was specific and not complicated. Begin by doing the one thing you already know you are being prompted to do and have been avoiding, not a new devotion. Not more prayer added on top of existing prayer. The specific thing already waiting. He believed and documented accounts from his spiritual direction consistently reflect this, that responding to one long-ignored interior prompting reopened the channel of cooperation with the guardian angel in a way that no additional devotional practice could substitute for. Saint Faustina Kowalska, whose church-approved diary was written in the same era, recorded in entry 630 that her guardian angel's effectiveness in her life was directly connected to her own interior openness to what God was asking. The consistency between her documented interior experience and Padre Pio's pastoral teaching on this point is striking precisely because they arrived at it through entirely different forms of spiritual life. The practical implication is something Padre Pio made very direct. Asking your guardian angel for help while persistently ignoring what your guardian angel has already been prompting you toward is half of a conversation. The relationship is cooperative, and cooperation requires movement from both sides. If prayers for protection or guidance have felt unanswered for a sustained period, his pastoral counsel points toward one honest question. Is there something specific you already know you are being prompted toward that you have not acted on, not something vague, something specific, something that surfaces with quiet persistence when you are genuinely honest in prayer? That prompting, according to everything Padre Pio taught and the theological tradition supporting it, may be the precise point where the relationship with your guardian angel is waiting to become fully active again. If this kind of honest, grounded engagement with Catholic teaching is something worth returning to, subscribing keeps you connected, and a like helps someone else find this at exactly the moment they need it.